The Mark Thompson Show.
I did want to mention what's going on with Rudy Giuliani. Rudy's got money problems. You know, this guy was riding high. His boyfriend, Donald Trump, embattled, but I think the good soldier, was Rudy Giuliani, out there every night. He was on Fox News. He was on pretty much anybody who had a camera and a mic. Rudy Giuliani was finding his way to them. And Rudy Giuliani was getting, it was advertised at the time, $20,000 a day, remember, for his defense of Donald Trump. Now, there was always a question as to whether or not Rudy would get that money. But that's what his bill was. With Trump, you kind of want to get the money, what? Up front. Yeah. You know, if you go to a lawyer, usually they ask you for a retainer. So there's not a big back and forth when you get the bill. Because usually when you get the bill from the lawyer, wow, it's really big. But Giuliani, sorry, go ahead, Kim, what?
I was just going to say, I mean, yes, Trump doesn't pay his bills, and so you're going to get stiffed, right? Unless the PAC is paying for it, in which case, excellent. But also, it's not just that. From what I understand, it's because he's defending Trump or doing Trump's bidding, that he's facing all kinds of sanctions and legal cases where he has to hire lawyers, Giuliani, to defend him in these cases. So now he has legal bills thanks to Trump. Is that right?
Yes, it's true. And Kim is 100% right. He's facing sanctions. He's facing a defamation suit. He's facing a lot of other legal issues. But all those roads lead back to his defense of Trump. And so when you're tearing up the scenery the way Rudy Giuliani was in every appearance, and you're defaming people and you're making crap up, and when you're just pulling every argument out of your ass, you're going to end up with this kind of situation where, hey, dude, you know, when the dust settles, you're going to find some repercussions as a result of what you've said. So that's what's happened.
And now you need a lawyer. Okay.
Right. Rudy Giuliani staring down hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal bills and sanctions amid numerous lawsuits. In addition, of course, to these new criminal charges. In court on Monday, Giuliani said the legal quagmires is a ding word, have left him effectively out of cash. He even appears to have responded to some of the money crunch by listing for sale a 3-bedroom Manhattan apartment that he owns. Not knowing anything else about his apartment, except it is I'm sure, doorman apartment in a nice area. All we know is it's 3 bedrooms owned by Rudy Giuliani. How much is he asking in this attempt to raise some money for his legal defense? How much is Rudy Giuliani selling his 3-bedroom Manhattan apartment for? I'm taking guesses in the chat, and I will take them in replay as well. Don't look at the answer replay. If you're watching in replay, put down your guess. I want to see who gets this. Rudy Giuliani has a money crunch, and he's listed his 3-bedroom Manhattan apartment for how much? Throw up some guesses up there, will you, Albert or Kim? 3.5 says Sandra. 6.5 says Makai. Wait a minute, Makai. It's right, 6.5. Holy cow. Makai, I will not let, oh look, 6.5 is what Huge in Japan says. Julie says 6.5. Well, maybe this is, maybe it's more common knowledge than I thought. These are very good, or these are extraordinary guesses. Yeah. Anyway, add
in all the legal fees coming from the Georgia case for Giuliani, who's now facing, what is it, 18 counts? 13 counts, I think. He's going to have a team of lawyers. So the bills are going to he needs all of that 6.5 mil.
It's unclear, I think, on the Georgia stuff, how much the Trump PAC may cover, although I don't think they're going to be riding to the rescue of so many defendants. Yeah. But not including standard legal fees, Giuliani faces nearly $90,000 in sanctions That's from a judge in a defamation case. He's got a $20,000 monthly fee to a company to host his electronic records, $15,000 or more for a search of his records, and even a $57,000 judgment against his company for unpaid phone bills. That's like little potatoes, right? Not really a big deal. But these are a lot of bills that he's not paying, and they are, they're piling up. He's declined in court to give any details of his financial state, but as I say, we know this because he has pled poverty in court. They said that producing a detailed financial report is only meant to embarrass Giuliani and draw attention to his misfortunes, his lawyers said. Giuliani's financial situation is likely to become even more difficult in all the ways that we've just identified for you and more. While Giuliani's attorney's fees have not been paid directly by Trump's political action committee, so here's the answer. Trump's PAC did pay more than $300,000 in May to a company handling Giuliani's archived records for evidence preservation in court cases. That's according to federal campaign finance records and court filings. He's having financial difficulties, his lawyers said. They said those very words. That's a quote. So what's happening now is Giuliani's having a meltdown financially. He's facing disbarment proceedings in D.C. and New York. His law license is already suspended. And of course, his lawyers say, well, look, you've taken away the guy's law license. That's going to make it harder for him to make money and pay all these various bills he has. The criminal charges that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis brought against Trump, Giuliani, 17 others will have big bills there. And, with all this money owed, it's unclear that Giuliani has a route out. When the FBI sees, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, and why? Because he's buddies with Trump. This is not the kind of friend you want. I mean, it's enough that he could stand up and make an ass out of himself defending the indefensible. Then when it costs you hundreds of thousands of dollars and puts you in a financial ruin, maybe you should reconsider your friends.
Yeah, it's really even more than that, but I agree. He tied himself to Trump politically. I think he tied himself to Trump, and the people who tie themselves to Trump do it for so many different reasons. If you read Michael Cohen's book, you see the power, the charisma. I mean, again, we can regularly talk about Trump, and I think, Trump's a dangerous guy. He's, I can let John Rothman speak about, Trump and the realities concerning Donald Trump. But I do feel there's a dynamic about Donald Trump that is intoxicating to people around him. And Cohen speaks of this in his book. And when you look at the way all of these guys have completely tied themselves to Trump in a way to destroy their reputations, Lindsey Graham comes to mind. I mean, I'm not suggesting that Lindsey Graham had some kind of high-end reputation to begin with, but I think it was higher end than it is now. So that's just on the reputational level. The financial side of this, you're always left holding the financial bag with Trump, always. And Trump has done well. He set up the hotel there in Washington, and that became just a place where money poured in from anyone who had business in government in Washington. And he got money pouring in and still has it pouring in from the Secret Service, et cetera, and all the different clubs and international interests he has. And those also became places where anyone with business with the government of Washington and Donald Trump, that's where they poured money. We told you stories across the board as to how they. So those are the instruments by which Donald Trump could continue to get money pouring into his organization, not to mention the PAC and all this sort of thing. I mean, and that's not to mention a lot, because there's a lot of money there. Giuliani has none of that. So when you look at the others, Kim is so right. Those people who are close to Donald Trump, they're out there carrying his water. Mm-hmm. But when the time comes to pay the bill, Trump ain't paying it. So
Luis says maybe not. He says, I'm sure he paid Rudy in Trump bucks redeemable for your choice of Trump ties, Trump vodka, a weekend stay at the Taj Mahal, or an honorary degree from TU.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I want
Luis.
you to take, Rudy, I want you to take this voucher. This voucher is good for anything any meal in one of my clubs.
There's never been anything like this.
That's great, Luis. Great call. Chad says in the super chat, I'm told that I've told the MAGA I work with time and time again, nothing good ever comes with associating yourself with Trump. The MAGA, thank you, Chad, and thanks to the super chat. The MAGA faithful, there is nothing you can tell them, and you can give them the facts, but there is nothing really you can tell them that they'll accept. That's why they're MAGA faithful. Natalie says, one use of the Diet Coke button. Exactly. That's what that voucher's for. Albert, Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.